Welcome to Outlaws and Gunslingers. From the Wild West to the rise of organized crime during the Prohibition, all the way up to today, America has had criminals, gangs, and law enforcement trying to bring them down. Join us as we profile some of the most infamous criminals, gangsters, outlaws, and lawmen in American history. True crime like you've never heard it before. Ladies and gentlemen, here are your hosts, Bang and Dang.
Take a look at Massachusetts. The Hells Angels established chapters in Lowell, Lynn, Salem, Cape Cod, which is headquartered in Buzzards Bay, Berkshire County, headquartered in Lee. The Bad Company chapter in Lowell, founded in 1966, was the club's first branch on the East Coast.
Cape Cod, isn't that like a Richie Rich area?
I think so.
Fucking bikers riding around with top hats and shit.
Nobody can see behind them. Hells Angels are the most significant motorcycle gang involved in drug trafficking in Massachusetts. And they have also collaborated with the Boston faction of the patriarchal crime family in loan sharking and narcotics distribution.
But they have. You know, they're going to do some violent incidents as well if they're involved with the mafia. Well, I mean, it's just Hells Angels in general, but there you go. Hells Angels members were among a group of 20 people, 15 men, 5 women, charged with various offenses after a battle with police on Lowell's Andover Street, December 14, 1969. Violence erupted when police officers arrived at a house party in response to complaints from neighbors who were threatened with a rifle. Jeez.
Oh, man.
Around 45 officers, including reinforcements from neighboring towns, were required to arrest the group. But assume.
Really? 5 popos were injured. Patrol wagon was damaged in the incident. Several rifles and sawed-off shotguns were seized, along with clubs and daggers, as well as pills. Hells Angels member Alan Hogan, along with Gilbert LaRoque and Joseph Corderone Jr., they abducted Linda Condon outside a bar in Beverly in the early hours of 9th of August, 1975. Forcefully took the keys to her Newburyport apartment, which her and her husband lived at, a former member of the Hells Angels.
His name was Theodore Condon. Well, LaRoque held Linda Condon captive in the back seat of Corderone's Cadillac. Hogan Corderone, a police officer in the city of Beverly. Corderone was?
Right.
Oh, wow. They entered the apartment and beat Theodore Condon with clubs, inflicting severe injuries, including fractures of the femur, and both tibia, a severe contusion on the left side of his face, a through-and-through laceration of his left ear, a perforated left eardrum, and a fractured skull. What think you hurt? I bet you the femur fractures hurt more than anything.
I know it.
Linda Condon was then taken to a motel room in Peabody, where she escaped through a window and called the popos after LaRoque fell asleep. Oh, he's probably dead.
Trio convicted of kidnapping, assault, battery by means of dangerous weapons, and mayhem. Like me. The Massachusetts Appeals Court reversed all convictions because, in its view, the trial judge improperly forbade cross-examination of the Condons, designed to show bias because criminal charges stemming from a 1971 drug indictment were pending against them at that very time. And you can't do that.
So what? Should have let him fucking get cross-examined. Stupid.
Right.
September 84, Salem Hells Angels chapter member Bill Leary and another motorcyclist were arrested by the Massachusetts State Police for operating under the influence after leaving a nightclub in Revere. Larry was subsequently charged with 3 counts of assault and battery and 3 counts of making threats after an incident occurred when officers attempted to strip search him at a Peabody police station.
Oh.
He was ultimately acquitted. Right, why are you strip searching him for?
Right. 2 Angels members were accused of raping a woman at the Lynn's chapter's clubhouse during the 1997 funeral of former chapter president Alan Hogan.
Oh, Alan Hogan died, guys.
Shit. Look at that shit. Salem Hells Angels members James Costin and Thomas M. Duda were charged with assault and battery following an attack on an off-duty police lieutenant, Vernon Coleman. They call him Skip.
What if him and his brother started a law firm and with another guy, his last name was Day?
Right.
The law firm of Doodah Doodah Day.
Doodah Doodah Day. Doodah Doodah Day. Yeah, they assaulted an off-duty police lieutenant, Vernon Skip Coleman, at a Lynn bar.
Skip.
On the 24th of November, 2004. Coleman suffered a severe facial laceration after being punched and kicked.
Well, Costin pleaded guilty May 18, 2005, and was sentenced to 2 to 4 in prison with 15 months to be served and the rest suspended for 5 years probation. Oh, look at him. During a traffic stop, Route 107, January 6, 2005, Hells Angels member Christopher Ranieri fled into a marsh after State Trooper Daniel Crespi observed what he believed to be a gun under his jacket.
Oh.
Police eventually coaxed Ranieri out of the swamp and arrested him on several charges. He was given a 90-day suspended sentence for assault on a police officer.
That's it. That's cool.
Good for him.
I mean, it is what year?
2000.
2000?
Five.
Oh, damn. I expect that to be like 1985 or something.
That's because they didn't find a gun and they had to fucking do something because clearly they didn't have probable cause of pulling them over.
Right. Eric Franco, Sergeant at Arms of the Lynn Hells Angels chapter, found to be in possession of a firearm and ammo on 3rd of May 2011 when the Popo were called to a department he shared with his girlfriend and her child after receiving report that Franco had assaulted his girlfriend. Franco's criminal record in Massachusetts includes 3 convictions for assault and battery by a dangerous weapon, as well as convictions for indecent assault and battery, failure to register as a sex offender, breaking and entering at night with intent to commit a felony, and conspiracy to violate the Controlled Substances Act.
Is it breaking and entering a felony?
Right. At night's even worse, I guess.
Franco was also convicted in Arkansas for battery in the 2nd degree in a case in which he and 5 other Hells Angels assaulted and stabbed 4 Banditos members. He was convicted September 2012 of possessing a firearm and ammo after receiving a felony conviction and was sentenced to 21 years, March 12, 2013. Guys never learn.
Never learn, never learn, never learn. 2 members of the Angels Salem chapter, Mark Eliason and Sean Barr, the chapter president, were arrested on charges of kidnapping, mayhem, extortion. That was on 13th of March in 2013. Along with Nicholas Evelis and Brian Weymouth, 2 members of the Byfield chapter of the Red Devils, a Hells Angels sport club. 2 others were also later apprehended. The charges related to the assault of a former Red Devils member who was forced to resign from the club after failing to assault an expelled member of the Salem Hells Angels as ordered by superiors. Man,
Yeah, they're just going back and forth. Red Devil, you assault the Hells Angels. Hells Angels, you assault the Red Devil. Jeez. The victim was lured to the Red Devils Byfield Clubhouse on October 15, 2012, where he was interrogated before being knocked unconscious and having his hand broken with a ball-peen hammer, causing permanent injury. His motorcycle was also stolen. After being threatened by Red Devils members into delivering the title to the stolen motorcycle, he went into hiding and eventually contacted the feds.
We're going to need that title.
Right.
I got to go to Secretary of State.
Was the bike really that important?
Barr, Eliason, Weymouth, and another Hells Angels member, Robert DeFranzo. They pled guilty to conspiring to commit violent crimes, maiming, assault with a dangerous weapon, assault resulting in serious bodily injury, racketeering also. And they did that in February of 2015. Barr and Eliason were each sentenced to 8 years, while DeFranzo and Weymouth sentenced to 4.
Let's take a look at some Massachusetts conflicts. David A. Urban, a member from Buffalo, was fatally shot in the heart after an unidentified gunman fired 4 rounds from a pistol into a bar in Lynn, April 23, 1974. Mark W. Verbon, Menlo Park, California Hells Angel, was also wounded after being shot 3 times in the stomach and the leg, while 2 other club members escaped unharmed. Although the murder was unsolved, Lynn police have speculated that the shooting stemmed from a conflict with a fledgling rival club called Lucifer's Henchmen, and an incident at a local cafe April 7th in which the son of the cafe proprietor, Thomas Abernathy Jr., was allegedly stabbed by 2 Hells Angels.
So you got Hells Angels and Lucifer's Henchmen.
There was also the Devil's Disciples and
I think they'd all be working together.
Satan's Henchmen.
Hells Angels reportedly emerged victorious in this very feud, seizing the colors of 10 or 11 Lucifer henchmen members. Another 3 rival bikers fled the state. One of the Hells Angels charged with the non-fatal stabbing, Whiskey George Hartman Jr., was murdered in Florida on the 3rd of April when he could face trial. Wow. Before he could face trial. A man sentenced in the cafe assault was released from prison days before Abernathy Jr. was seriously injured by a nail bomb left on the porch of his home on the 24th of March, 1975. He was blinded and lost his left arm and his right hand in an explosion. Oh, shit.
Like a package or something? He went to pick it up and it said, kaboom.
Bunch of nails. Damn.
Well, during the early hours of September 20th, 1981, James Rich was stabbed numerous times in the legs after being attacked outside a bar in Revere Beach by 4 unidentified men believed to be Hells Angels members who accused him of being a member of the Devil's Disciples. The following evening, 3 friends of Rich, Robert Cobb, Arthur Corbett, and Andrew Millian, went to the bar seeking revenge on any Hells Angels present. Millian shot bar patron Dana Hill in the head with a shotgun. Holy shit. Hill, who was not a member of any motorcycle gang but had the appearance of a biker, died 3 days later.
Damn, he lived?
For 3 days.
Must have been some bird shot in there or something.
Must have been across the bar.
Holy shit. You get shot in the head with a shotgun, usually there's nothing left. After discarding the murder weapon in the body of Wada, Cobb, Corbett, and Millian, They were arrested by the Popo and indicted on first-degree murder on the theory of joint enterprise. May 19th, 1982, Corbett and Milian, convicted of murder in first degree. Cobb, convicted of murder in second degree. The trio sentenced to life.
So I guess that old degree didn't really matter, did it?
2 Angels members were stabbed in Revere on November 8th, 1991, allegedly by Devil's Disciples members. Oh, shit.
Well, again, Hell's Angels members Michael Blair and Jake Doherty were arrested June 19, 2016, and charged with beating 2 members of the Defiant Disciples with a flashlight outside a pub in Worcester on May 8, 2016. Witnesses said a total of 7 men were involved in the assault. Blair pleaded guilty January 7, 2019, and was given a 2-year suspended prison sentence. 7 bikers suffered stab wounds during a brawl involving approximately 50 members of the Hells Angels and the Pagans in front of the Pagans Fall River Chapter Clubhouse May 14, 2022. 4 of the wounded were treated at Rhode Island Hospital, and 3 others were taken to Charlton Memorial Hospital.
Holy shit. These guys are some dangerous. Oh.
Well, it ain't over yet.
We got some moitas. Michaela Gagnon, a member of the Quebec chapter of the Hells Angels, believed to be a prime suspect in 2 unsolved murders that occurred in Lynn, 1975. His girlfriend, Susan Marie...
1970. Fine.
1979. His girlfriend, Susan Marie DeQuina, who reportedly wanted to break up with him because he and his friends were using her car to transport drugs. She went missing on October 3rd, 1979. Shortly after her disappearance, DeQuina's car found, abandoned, burned in Saugus.
Well, authorities believe she was moited. On November 4th, 1979, the dismembered torso of Robert Bino Garbino, Gagnon's roommate and a Hells Angels prospect, was discovered by children playing in a dump near where DeQuina's car was found. He had been shot in the head, back, and shoulder, and his severed head and hands were later found buried in the yard of his Lynn residence. Oh. Police suspect Garbino was killed by the Hells Angels over a drug ripoff and begin searching for Gagnon in relation to the murder.
Oh, shit. Well, they found him. Shot to death in an apartment.
Wait, what?
Bridgeport, Connecticut, November 25th, 1979. His death ruled a suicide.
Who?
Gagnon. Yeah, they found Gagnon and shot to death in an apartment in Bridgeport, Connecticut, 25th of November, 1979. Death ruled suicide, although some authorities believe he did not take his own life.
He shot himself twice in the back of the head.
Hells Angels members Alan Cutler and Edward R. Simard and another man, John Burke, were arrested on February 4th, 1986 in connection with the murder of Vincent Danino, a drug dealer who was found shot dead in the trunk of his car in a supermarket parking lot in Revere, 29th February 1984.
It was also ruled a suicide.
Right.
According to police, Danino refused to pay Simard approximately $10,000 owed over a cocaine deal, and after learning that the Hells Angels had put a contract on his life, sought protection from rival Trampers Motorcycle Club. With approval from both clubs, he was allegedly lured to the Cutler's home and shot in the shoulder with a shotgun before taken to his car and shot 4 times in the head.
Damn.
4th suspect, Trampers associate and future patriarch of crime family soldier, oh, there you go, Darren F. Nino Bufalino, fled to King's Court, Ireland, before being apprehended in Fuengirola, Spain, June 11, 1987. Jeez.
Charges first-degree murder against Bufalino, Burke, and Simard dismissed on 10th of December 1990 when a judge ruled that the FBI wiretap evidence in the case to be inadmissible because, guess what? There had been an 8-day delay in sealing the tapes.
So who knows if they could have been tampered with or anything. I mean, come on, guys. Get shit together.
Right. So,
This is years 1990. FBI still fucking up.
FBI, no matter what we do. Berkshire County Hells Angels Chapter Sergeant at Arms, Adam Lee Hall, along with Caius Viovis, he was born Ray Gafinski Jr., and Aryan Brotherhood member David Chaloux, kidnapped Robert Chadwell, Edward Frampton, and David Glasser, Chaloux's roommate, from Frampton's home in Pittsfield during the early hours of 28th of August 2011 before fatally shooting all of those.
Jeez. Their bodies, dismembered with an electric circular saw, were discovered in... yeah, why not?
Nice.
Were discovered in Beckett 10 days later. Glasser was killed to prevent him from testifying against Hall in an unrelated assault case. Chadwell and Frampton were just killed to eliminate witnesses.
Right. I mean,
Chaloux, Hall, and Vovoi were each convicted of 3 counts of murder, 3 of kidnapping, 3 of intimidation of a witness during separate trials in 2014. They were each sentenced to 3 consecutive terms of life. Damn, these guys were dead, and they still got them with intimidation of witnesses because they intimidated them. All right.
Son of a bitch. Take a look at some drugs that get trafficked.
We're still in Massachusetts. Holy fuck.
Alan Hogan,
Oh, he's dead.
Right. And Robert Montgomery, both members of the Hells Angels Lynn chapter. Thomas Apostolos, a member of New Hampshire.
Yeah, he does.
A member of the New Hampshire chapter, were in prison after the police discovered a trailer home converted into a meth lab in Middleton. No, this one actually is Middleton.
Mm-hmm.
They did that on the 11th of January, 1980. 2 non-club members turned state's evidence and entered the federal witness protection program following the trial. 3 murders in Canada of a Hells Angel, his wife and his mother, were directly linked to the case. Oh, you can't be...
5 Hells Angels members, including the vice president of the club's East Coast faction, were arrested in the greater Boston area on charges of conspiracy to distribute cocaine May 2nd, 1985, in connection to the FBI's Operation Rough Rider. 3 of those taken into custody surrendered peacefully in a raid on a home in Lynn. Lynn's pretty popular, huh?
I guess so.
Where federal agents also confiscated a home computer system in 1985. Jeez.
Not allowed to have home computer systems, huh?
It was used to handle the Hells Angels' administrative and financial matters.
Oh, makes sense.
That'd have been making some money to get a home computer system in 1985.
Okay, man, you gotta like have a... All kinds of stuff.
Right?
3-year investigation, which involved undercover FBI agent Kevin Bonner infiltrating the club and making drug deals.
These guys love to be infiltrated, don't they?
Right, always. This guy made drug deals for the chapters across the country, culminating in a total of 133 Hells. You know these guys still get charged with drug dealings and all that, even if they are
Definitely not.
infiltrating.
They're off for authorized.
Are you sure?
Yes. That's not White Boy Rick. These are actual agents.
Right. Sometimes agents do get... Somebody's got to
Yeah, if
fall.
they cross a line.
Right.
This is the same thing we already went over in Connecticut, I believe. Operation Rough Rider. Uzis and rocket launchers during the operation.
Right. Let's take a look at Lynn chapter members Glenn Hoppy May.
Oh no, Hoppy.
And Steve Fee Sullivan.
Stevie.
Hoppy and Fee. Hoppy Fee.
Fee Hoppy.
Fee Hoppy. Fee Hoppy. Indian name or something.
Right.
They were sentenced 3 years in prison after being convicted, and another Linwood Lee Barrett III was acquitted of what? 13 members and former members of the Lowell Hells Angels were indicted on September 1991 on charges of conspiracy to distribute meth as part of a drug ring that operated in Massachusetts and in New Hampshire between 1987 and 1991. A further 5 Hells Angels were arrested on drug charges in connection with the case on June 1st, 1992. 12th of January 1993, chapter president Charles T. Pasquiotti, they call him Doc, and 14 others were sentenced after earlier pleading guilty to possession with intent to distribute meth and conspiracy. Sentences range from 15 years for Pasquiotti to 3 years probation.
Okay.
Several government witnesses in case, including Crazy Eights MC president Galen Blake. Whoa.
He's just a witness.
Oh, okay. Crazy Eight associates David and Larry Machado, Die Hard's MC president Gordon Tardif, and Hells Angels associate Robin Golden. They entered the federal witness protection.
Damn, a whole president of a chapter had to say, bye, I gotta go to witness protection. He could have just said no.
Right.
Obviously, he was facing some shit on his... The DEA began an investigation of the Salem's Hells Angel chapter in February of 95. As part of an undercover operation, DEA agent Phil Muallo infiltrated the club for 18 months and purchased kilos of drugs from Gregory Greg Domi.
And they claim to have such a strict
Right.
policy for letting people
Every
around.
single chapter has been infiltrated.
Like, sure, come on in, bud.
He purchased kilos of drugs from Gregory Greg Domi, who was the chapter president, as well as the Hells Angels leader on the East Coast, and other members.
Wow.
And others.
And others.
Why is the president doing these things?
All right, it's so stupid. The investigation was also aided by the use of an informant. July 1st, 1995.
Bartolomeo? Bartolomeo?
John Bartolomeo, they call him Johnny Bart, and another Hells Angels. They chased Gerard Giorgio. Oh, my goodness.
Gerard Giorgio. I'd say that's 10 times fast.
They chased Gerard Giorgio, a member of the Devil's Disciples, down Route 3 as he rode his motorcycle and badly beat him and stripped him of his colors after catching up with him, leaving him in critical condition. Oh, Johnny Bart then killed another Devil's Disciple member, William Michaels. They call him Cat. He did that on the 29th of July, 1995.
Jeez. Well, Michaels was riding his motorcycle on Route 18 in Weymouth when Bartolomeo accelerated an automobile into him. The operation culminated with the arrest of 16 Hells Angels members and associates during raids on 10 locations, including the Sailor Chapter Clubhouse, September 5th, 1996. Quantities of cocaine and meth were also seized. All 16 people indicted were convicted. Domi was sentenced to 20 years imprisonment in 97 after pleading guilty to running a criminal enterprise that sold coke and meth.
Oh, shit. Oh, Johnny Bart pled guilty. Possession with intent to distribute. Conspiracy to distribute cocaine and meth on the 21st of May, 1998. State and federal authorities agreed not to charge him with the attacks on 2 Devil's Disciple members in conjunction with a plea agreement. Sentence, 35 years. I don't think it matters. 35 years anyway.
He murdered somebody.
Right. They just love their meth.
Oh, my gosh. Got drugs off the streets. They're also involved with some armed trafficking, as 2 Hells Angels members, a prospect and an associate, were arrested on firearms charges in March 86 as part of Operation 1%er, which was an ATF investigation. Full Patch members George Harvey of Revere and Peter Lazarus Jr. of Lynn were convicted. Harvey was sentenced to serve a year at FCI Danbury, while Lazarus was sentenced to probation.
Oh, ain't too bad.
Right.
Good for you. Do it again, guys. Racketeering. More racketeering. What?
That's what they do, man.
Freaking racketeering in Massachusetts is there? Didn't we just ever have one for racketeering?
We did not.
You sure?
We had a bunch of people charged with racketeering.
Wow. Hells Angels took over ancillary activities of the Patriarcha crime family's Boston faction, such as loan sharking and drug dealing, from the East Boston-based trampers, who had previously overseen operations under contract with the Mafia since 1986. Hells Angels member Mark Rebel McKenna was one of the 11 men indicted on charges of loan sharking and racketeering on the 9th of June, 1987. He was, they got charged him for operating the largest loan sharking ring in United States history, which collected $3.5 million from approximately 350 victims.
Jeez, the indictments followed a 2-year state and federal investigation of organized crime in Boston. Joint investigation of the Hells Angels Boston, Salem's chapters by the ATF, DEA, MSP, and Internal Revenue Service. You gotta get them IRS agents in there. That began in January 2007, resulted in the arrest of 6 club members on various charges during a series of raids September 20th, 2007. Christopher Sweeney pleaded guilty to possessing a firearm and a silencer and was sentenced to 2 years and 4 months imprisonment December 4th, 2008. Christopher Ranieri was sentenced to 1 year in prison and restitution to the United States Treasury in the amount of $33,438, February 3rd, 2009, after he pleaded guilty to 2 counts of failure to file income tax. Federal income tax.
Fuck those income tax.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe so you never miss out on new episodes of Outlaws and Gunslingers or Battles of the American Civil War, right here on the Bang Dang Network. And don't forget to check out those playlists